Ted. A lot of fans. Together over 4 incredible years, we achieved more than virtually any administration in history. Every promise I made to you as a candidate, I fulfilled as your president. Promises made, promises kept. I promised to end NAFTA, and I did. Everybody said it would be impossible to end NAFTA, replacing it with the great USMCA, that's Mexico, Canada. And let me just tell you, they want to renegotiate the deal. And I have great respect, by the way, for the head of Canada. He's a great gentleman. He's a great gentleman. And we worked very closely on the border, and it was good for him, good for us. But we had a border that was virtually shut, not only to people. They came in. If they come in legally, we like it. But it also, we had drugs that were literally 1/10 of what they are now. The drugs are pouring in. People talk about the people that are pouring in, but the drugs that are pouring into our country, killing everybody, killing so many people. That's another lie, Dan, because they keep talking about 100,000 people, 75,000 people. I've been hearing that number for 15 years. It's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, probably 500,000 people, and nobody wants to say it. There's no army that could ever do damage to us like that's doing. I promised to appoint true conservative justices to the United States Supreme Court, and I did. I promised to move the embassy to Jerusalem, and I got it built. Not only did I do that, I got it built for a fraction of the cost and a fraction of the time. It was supposed to cost $2 billion. I got it built for $500,000. Does that sound good? We took an existing building and I renovated it. And we got it built, and it's actually beautiful, all Jerusalem stone, very expensive stone, but in Jerusalem it didn't cost that much. I promised to rebuild our military, withdraw from the ridiculous Iran nuclear deal. Can you believe what's going on in Iran? And you see what's going on? They attacked us in 78 different locations. When I was president, they didn't attack us at all. They attacked us in 78 different locations. I promised to kill the unfair and ridiculous Paris Climate Accord, where the United States was going to pay trillions of dollars, and China, Russia, India weren't paying anything. And I achieved a thing called, which you'll like, energy independent, soon to be energy dominant. We're going to be energy dominant. For Texas, we would have had, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation in the world. Does anyone know that? Nobody knows that. And I got ANWR approved in Alaska, and one of the first moves the Biden administration did, Ronald Reagan couldn't get it done. Nobody could get it done. Of course, Bush couldn't get it done. I don't know if he tried. But everybody tried to get it done. I got it done. We were all set. We were going to take out more. There would have been, we could have paid off debt. We would have made a fortune. As big as Saudi Arabia, probably, ANWR. And the first thing they did, first week, is they ended the ANWR deal that I made. And Alaska was getting all set to go to town. But I made these promises and more, and I kept every single one of those promises and many, many more than that. Now we're laying out a bold, fast-forward-looking vision for what we will do when we take the oath of office as the 47th President of the United States. As president, I will immediately end the invasion of our southern border and all of those Texas ranchers, all of those great ranchers whose houses are being invaded. They never had anything like this. I saw somebody three days ago said, 2 years ago, the border was totally secure. We had no problem. You wouldn't see anything. And today it's a disaster. People knocking on our door, and they want to knock the hell out of us. I built hundreds of miles of wall and completed that task totally as promised. And then I began to add even more wall in areas where it was needed. And I could have done it all in 3 more weeks, but Biden decided not to do it. And that's when I said, well, if he doesn't want to do it, then he actually wants to have open borders. That's when I first saw it, Dan. Under my leadership, we will seal it up and we will expand the wall even further. Walls do work. Remember, I used to say walls and wheels. They can come up with all the computers and everything they want. The two things that are going to work for a long time are walls and wheels. Other countries are emptying out their prisons, insane asylums, and mental institutions and sending their most heinous criminals to the United States. And who can blame them, right? Who can blame them? These are very smart people, the presidents and the heads of these countries. Presidents, prime ministers, and dictators. I know them all. But they're very smart, very streetwise, and they're sending their criminals to live in the United States. We're talking about mental institutions and prisons, think of it, and they're all coming in. I read a story recently where a doctor in a mental institution in a certain country in South America is saying, my whole life I've been so busy taking care of people, but now I have no people to take care of because they're all being sent into the United States. And I said, how stupid are we? How stupid are we? How stupid are we? We're going to be living with this for so long, but we're going to get as many as we can. We're going to get ICE on the road because ICE and Border Patrol, guys like Tom Homan, who I saw yesterday, is fantastic. And you have some people at Border Patrol, I'll tell you. He's you're a leader at Border Patrol. I won't mention his name because I don't think he's supposed to be very political, but you got a great, that's right, you got a great man at Border Patrol. As president, I'll sign a massive increase in Border Patrol and a colossal increase in the number of ICE deportation officers. We're going to clean up our country. We're going to clean it up. These are great American heroes. Nobody knows about it. And, you know, I know some of the people in the first few rows, and they're tough guys, but they're not going to work for ICE. ICE will walk into MS-13. They call it a nest, where guys will kill young girls. They killed two young 16-year-old girls with knives. They didn't want to use a gun because it's too fast. They're vicious, vicious people. And they killed them with knives. They carved them up, and they died. Both of them, they were going to school. They were walking to school in Long Island, and they killed them. And these guys walk into those nests. They walk in, and they're swinging, and their fists are going and everything. They end up always standing up and carting them away. They take them in a paddy wagon, they call it. They take them away. They get them the hell out of our country. We couldn't get them out under Obama because the other countries wouldn't take them. They said, we're not going to take the people. So they'd clog up the airport. You couldn't land the plane. They'd clog up the roadway so the buses taking really bad people back into Honduras and El Salvador, Guatemala, other countries. They wouldn't allow us to do it. So I said to them, well, how are we going to get them out? They said, well, sir, we can't get them out. We gave up years ago under the Obama administration because they won't take them back. I said, let me ask you a question. How much do we pay them in aid? Sir, we pay them $750 million a year. I say, tell them that as of tonight at 5 o'clock, they're not getting any more aid. Remember I did this, Dan? And the following morning at 8 o'clock, I get 3 calls almost simultaneously, separate but simultaneously. And they said essentially the same thing. Sir, we understand there's some difficulty with getting people back into our nation. We would be honored to take MS-13 with tattoos all over their face. We would be honored. We would be honored to take them back, sir. They are wonderful people. Please send as many as you would like, sir. When are we going to get the money? Are we going to get some money? But we don't use that. We don't talk that way in government because we have stupid people doing things. We will use all necessary state, local, federal, and military resources to carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in American history. And Eisenhower did it, so we don't have to feel so bad. But Eisenhower was very, very strong on that. A lot of people don't know that. I will reinstitute Title 42 to keep sick people out of our country and to bring back Remain in Mexico policy.